How to cook breakfast muffins with smoked salmon, poached egg and Hollandaise sauce. Hello everybody and welcome back to Chef at Home. My name is James Howe. Today we start to look at 5 of my favourite breakfast dishes. Now a good breakfast is one of my favourite things in the world. Any excuse to eat eggs makes me a very happy boy. But eating eggs first thing on the morning, that makes me very happy indeed. But with that being said, don't forget to hit subscribe and let's get on with the prep. Alright, so the prep. The first thing I want to do is sort out my salmon. Now I've got some lovely smoked salmon here. Nice decut salmon, fat's been trimmed. What we're going to do first of all is just dice this salmon. Still leave it a little bit chunky, not too small. So grab yourself a metal bowl, sab it in. Then into that, a little bit of lemon juice. I've got a lovely banana shallot. So if you haven't seen these before, I'm going to treat them just like an onion. Essentially are just a posh onion. It's a bit sweeter, less harsher taste. And then that also into my salmon. Then I've got some lovely herbs here. I've got a bit of parsley, break some of that off. And a little bit of dill. So it's a little bit fresh, a little bit of aniseed. Just bunch all that together. And a rough chop. Very quick this, very simple. And then I've got about a teaspoon's worth of capers, they can go in. A little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt. And then just give that a really good mix. So that can sit just in your fridge or on the side until you need it. Pan of water on to simmer, an inch or 2 of water. Clean metal bowl. Now make sure that when you put the metal bowl on top of the pan, the bottom of the bowl is dry. That means that the water's not touching it, the eggs aren't going to overcook. Then into the bowl, 2 egg yolks. And keep the egg whites, you could do all sorts with them. You could do someone else an egg white omelette, you could keep them and make some meringues later. No point in wasting them when you can make use of them. Then about a teaspoon of vinegar and just give that a really good mix. Best thing to do is use a whisk and it starts that emulsion process off really early. And then that can sit until we're ready to cook. And the last little job, take your English muffin, slice in half. Okay, so we are ready to get cooking. So grab out your egg yolk and vinegar mix and place it on top of that pan of water. That should be just about warm enough now. And all you need to do is with your whisk, just keep that moving. And then grab yourself about 125 grams of butter, it's about half a block, just a bit below room temperature. And cut that into small blocks. Now the classic way to make a hollandaise, you'd use melted butter. But what I find, of round about room temperature blocks of butter, it cools the egg as it goes in. So just one at a time, add in your butter and allow it to melt together. Now this amount of sauce probably do you about 2 sensible portions. But if you don't think it'll be enough, double it. By the time you've added your last block of butter, you should see the sauce is nice and thick. You should be able to see the ribbon of where the trail of the whisk as it's moving through. Now we reach this point, it's got a little bit more stable, so there's probably enough heat in here to finish off the cooking without overcooking it and it becoming scrambled eggs. That's a whole different dish for breakfast entirely. So remove from the heat, a little bit of salt and pepper, doesn't need much, splash of mustard, English, whole grain, whatever your preference, and a final dash of lemon juice. Now there should be enough heat in this bowl to finish that off, so I'm just going to pop this on to one side for the last 2-3 minutes. Alright, so this pan of water that we've been using for the bain-marie to cook the hollandaise over, now that's nice and hot, I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of vinegar. We're going to use that for our poached eggs, and I've just popped a frying pan on at the back here. A couple of knobs of butter, just let them melt. Just swap these over so it's a bit easier for you to see. Oh, the butter just about melted. Still a little bit to go, but doesn't matter. English muffins, cut side down into the butter, and we're just going to gently toast them in this pan. So into the final stretch. For our poached egg, you could just drop them in the water if you wanted to, or to make life a little bit easier, get yourself something like a small pot, whatever it needs be. Just crack your egg into there, whip the water around so it's got a little bit of a whirlpool going, and then just drop the egg into the centre. So the combination of the whirlpool and the vinegar in the water is going to help wrap the white around the yolk so it doesn't all flail out and go everywhere. Now for me, the perfect poached egg takes 2 minutes, so now I know how long I've got until I need to plate up. When the muffins are starting to brown on the other side, flip them over, turn off the heat, and they'll cook in that remaining heat from the butter. Okay, plating up time. Got English muffin onto the plate. Now I do love the occasional bit of chefy bollocks, so I'm going to sit a ring on top of the muffin and I'm going to build my salmon mix that we did earlier on top of that muffin. And I just let go. You don't need to pack it down too much. Should be quite stable, but if it falls, doesn't really matter. Adds to the drama. First poached egg out. Use this spider because it drains all the water off, but if you don't have anything like this or a slotted spoon, just drain it onto some kitchen roll and that'll do the job. Just sit that on top of your muffin. Now, just as a bit of an experiment, this egg here was cooked using the small pot to pour into the water, and this one without, just to see what the difference is. Okay, so here's the egg without, bit more bits hanging off it, not vast amounts of difference, I would say. I think the main difference really is the overall shape. The one that was in the ring is that little bit rounder, a little bit prettier. Okay, now our lovely Hollandaise. And finish off, final bit of chefy bollocks. A little bit of parsley and a final dusting of pepper. Now that is a perfect way to start the day. Well, that was a nice and easy one. I hope you enjoyed tucking into this salmon hollandaise. Next week we're going to be looking at pancakes. We're going to be looking at more of the European pancake, nearer towards a crepe. And we're also going to be doing some American style, more fluffy, thick pancakes. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go enjoy my breakfast. You enjoy yours, and I'll see you next time.